All right, let's do an audio visual check. How is everybody doing tonight? Let's hear in the chat if you could hear and see everything okay while I get some stuff set up on my end. Let's see here. Sounds good. Donald, sounds good. Hello. What's up, everybody? It's been a wild ride of a week so far. And we'll go over it. We will go over it. Let me make sure I'm getting it logged in on my end. And let's go ahead and start the session. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to Slow Markets. I'm Coach Dakota, Coach DBA. As always, there is our Topstep risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. Anything I say is for educational purposes only. As always, we're going to be analyzing the live markets. You can see that behind me. We have the live chart going on the NASDAQ. Anyway, what a crazy week for me. Everybody's probably seeing some updates on TopstepTV. I was on TopstepTV, and I figured we could start off with looking at some of my statistics. So here's my stats. This is my live account here at Topstep, and I started off the week very much like I started off last week. I started off last week minus $9,000, and I finished the last 4 days really strong. It was a really great week for me, obviously. This week is turning out to be just as big of a roller coaster. I started Monday minus, just over $9,000, and today I finished up $17,000. So far I'm up $7,700 for the week. Now that being said, I did just take a loss tonight, guys. It was ugly. Let me hop over to the Nikkei, and this is not a great way to start the night for me. I took a loss, and I want to go over what I took the loss on. It was Nikkei. I'm going to hear it from Mick tomorrow. I could already hear him. Man, Mick's going to start haunting my dreams or my nightmares. I'm going to definitely hear it from Mick tomorrow. Here's the Nikkei, and I was looking to be a buyer on the Nikkei. I went ahead and I got into 2 trades, and I took a loss on everything I tried to do already. So if we zoom in, oh, come on. So here's the Nikkei. I ended up trying to get in long to play this breakout. Unfortunately, we did not break out. I ended up buying into this area, and I started buying, looking for some support. And guess what? When you start buying the dip and it keeps dipping, you take a loss. That's what happened. Buying a dip and it kept dipping. I was looking for this to hold as some support. It did not. We failed. And then, of course, hindsight kicks in, and you analyze the market a little bit more. And now we start to zoom out, and me being impatient kind of just says, guess what, Dakota? I should have been waiting for some of these lows that we could definitely be testing in the middle of March. So anyway, that is the story of tonight. That being said, I'm going to be hearing it from Mick, taking losses just to start the new trading day. It's not fun. Hindsight's 2020. After this happened, I was looking for this to hold and be support and look for a push up maybe to 380s or somewhere higher. And I'll go over and I'll look at the NASDAQ, and we'll do some other markets as well. And we'll continue to do some Q&A. But hindsight's 2020. We sold off, and we are now back down to 38,200s, which is a much, much better risk reward to the long side if I was going to take a long. But hindsight's always 2020, right? It's always looking good until it sells off and it doesn't. And then, it's like one of those things where, yeah, sure, when the market's right here, it does look good. Maybe some type of a bottoming pattern. Oh, well, spilt milk now. It's too late to cry over it. Learn from my mistakes. Yeah, it's interesting. Anyway, That being said, I'm not going to be trading the Nikkei tonight. I'm done trading the Nikkei tonight. I'm already frustrated, pissed off, all of the emotions on this. Let's move on to the next. Let's move on to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is in an interesting spot, guys. I traded the NASDAQ during the New York session. That's where I did really good on during the New York session. Guess what? This is an interesting pattern. And every time we have had a nice sell-off in the market, we have ran into something like this. That's where I'm thinking to myself, guess what? This is the area that we were looking for the NASDAQ to sell off to, if we was going to sell off. And we have an indecisive candle here. This is an indecisive. This is a doji apex candle. We are running into some buyers in this zone. And so the question is this now going to be what happened back in the middle of February? Are we going to just have history repeat itself and rally up? Or back down here and even down here when we start to see, and I could go through and highlight this, right? You can see this. This is kind of, I mean, we have this one, right? So this is kind of a clue. We see a lot of higher time frame traders and bigger institutes, a lot more people, and there's a lot more eyes on the markets on these higher time frame. This is the NASDAQ daily, and so there's going to be a lot of people looking at this and probably thinking something similar. We sold off. This is considered a pullback. And we immediately stopped, and we didn't have any follow through today during the New York session. We kind of just made that doji candle. And let's see if we could bounce up. Today during the NASDAQ, during the New York session, I was a buyer. I was buying all the dips. It worked for me. I traded really, really well. And so if we zoom in, now let's zoom into a 60-minute chart. So here we go. Here is a 60-minute chart on the NASDAQ. And you kind of see something very similar. Whenever we've had these huge sell-offs, what's happened? We've had a huge sell-off, consolidation, and we've seen some buyers step in. So that is what I was looking for today. If you guys remember last night that I was hesitant to buy it here because I think we could still push down towards 17,800 to 17,700 in this zone. Well, during the pretty much that was even before London session, we did sell off. We got to 17,800 and we started consolidating. We tested that again during the London session and immediately bought up. And to me, I was looking at this, well, you know what, that could be the double bottom pre-market, and we're starting to find a lot of buyers. And sure enough, I was buying all the dips. Every time we sold off, I was buying the market. And I think I'm still in a similar situation. I was thinking that. I was thinking that on the Nikkei tonight, and that kind of blew up in my face. So yeah, let's zoom into maybe a 5-minute chart, and we could go over it maybe a little bit more in depth, and then I could open up to a Q&A, and we could go from there. So here's the New York session. Ever since we started the New York session, it was kind of a range-bound day, very big in consolidation. We opened it up. I was actually, buying here. I took some profits. Every single time we've dipped, I was buying all these dips into this zone. I did take one loss, and that one loss came around here. When we did break up, we pulled back, and I was looking for resistance to become support. It did not. I took a loss on that, but then I bought here in the 840s, 850s, and that ended up working to finish the day off strong, and that's how I ended up, 17,000. So anyway, I'm still in the same mindset. I really am. I am looking at buying these dips for right now. I mean, we're continuing to push. Essentially, my gosh, I'm screwing up with my drawing tools. yeah, we are starting to show higher lows, and I am looking to be buying the dips until we fell and start to break down, because to be honest, there's no reason why we wouldn't. I mean, we do have this huge sell-off, and we can argue that the trend is currently down because we've seen on the daily chart. If we zoom back onto the daily chart, we officially kind of broke this uptrend, right? So there is something to be said about this, but I'm a big bull in the market, and we did break that downtrend, but any of these pullbacks has just been opportunities to buy the dip. I don't see why it's not a big enough reason to buy the dip or not. Jack, Dakota, do you still trade combines, or did you trade my live account? It was in my live account. I'm not trading combines anymore very often. Actually, I don't have any combines open right now because Mick and the Risk team opened me up in my live account, and I can now trade my live account as if I was trading 3 XFAs or 3 combines. So for me, there's no reason to trade combines or XFAs right now, because I could trade my live account just like that. And that's the reality of trading live and in a realistic environment, in a more realistic world, in my opinion, is, maybe go to your broker. If you have your own personal broker, go to your personal broker and ask them, hey, I have $150,000. Can I open up multiple $25,000 accounts and just copy trade amongst any of them? And they'll probably look at you like you're freaking crazy or something. But just because you're trading many, many different accounts, it doesn't mean that your risk is spread out, right? That's just not the reality of it. I will say copy trading can help on the mental aspect, because you can make $200, and if you make $200 and you're copy trading, it's bigger. But then mentally, you're only looking at the $200, when in reality it could be $2,000 if it's 10 accounts. But I'm trying to do it on one account. I'm trying to do it on my one account and then my live account, and hopefully be able to show you guys. That's why I pulled up my statistics here in front of you guys, my live account statistics here at Topstep, where I am now risking $9,000 as a daily loss limit for myself, and I am trading a lot bigger. And so with scaling, we run into what I've ran into this week, which has been very frustrating, is when you do hit a daily loss limit, your daily loss limit is $9,000, and that's frustrating as heck compared to the daily loss limit of just $9,000 or $3,000. But still, if you're copy trading, and you guys see it on Topstep leaderboards and in the Discord, where we have traders who copy trade 3 XFAs, and when they hit the daily loss limit, they lose $9,000. Same thing, live account. I hit my daily loss limit, I lose $9,000. I did that on Monday, and it looks like today's not going to be any better, unfortunately. But Tuesday was good. Today I'm considering it as a Wednesday. It's a start of a new day. And yeah. And here's another thing. Maybe this might help some traders out. I do not look at my statistics on a day-to-day basis. I look at it as an overall. So I will not look at my statistics until the week is over and do some really in-depth analysis. And then sometimes I'll even go every other week and maybe even monthly. For example, this week I had a daily loss limit minus like $9,800, and then I had plus $17,800, $17,600, and then today minus $9,000, and then the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And then over the long run, how's my statistics? And then the great thing about the Topstep dashboard, it shows me my P&L for the week. And you guys could look and say, okay, my P&L for the week, I'm still positive, and it could be one heck of a roller coaster week. I was messaging Mick back and forth today, and I messaged Mick, and I said, this is one heck of a roller coaster day. And then I asked Mick, I'm like, are you watching the P&Ls or are you watching the individual trades? And he's like, both. and it was just interesting to have that back and forth, because the risk managers, they see it all. I can't hide anything. They won't, and that's the great thing about Topstep, is There's no hiding behind smoke or mirrors. There's no hiding behind the cameras. You guys get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly from me, and there's no sense of me hiding it anyway. As much as I would love to hide those daily loss limits from you guys and just show the good because it feels good, yeah, that's just not the reality of it, right? Let's do some Q&A, and then we'll continue to. I went through the NASDAQ. Like I said, on the NASDAQ, I'm still looking for us to push and maybe test 18,000 and test some resistance, because this was a big level here. This 18,000 and this consolidation was a very, very big level. I don't want to go through and just draw everything out here, but this was a really big level on the NASDAQ that we broke through. I would like to see the NASDAQ rally and come up and test this area. At least 18,000. That's a big psychological level. So I'm going to be looking to buy dips. I'm going to be looking to position myself to get into long the NASDAQ. Just not tonight, guys, because I can't. Now I talked about Nikkei. I don't want to even look at Nikkei. Let's talk about crude oil. I like crude oil. Let's zoom out to a higher time frame and then get to some good questions. Let me pull up this. All right, here's a few questions. You don't think today's a failure to bounce at all indicates further sell-off? No. So the question is, because we failed to bounce, indicate further sell-off? I mean, not really, not right now anyway, because I was just going over the NASDAQ and these other markets where, in my opinion, maybe failure to continue the sell-off might indicate maybe a little bit more of a bounce. I'm not sure. It's a range-bound day. Another thing that was pretty interesting to me, guys, was I think it was today, right? It was earlier today where Powell spoke, and he legit said higher for longer. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think Powell said higher for longer, and the market still held up pretty well. So I was thinking that the fact that Powell said higher for longer, and it's something that I'm sure, and you guys have heard me say this almost every single night, where I say higher for longer. It's essentially, we didn't sell off. And so to me, I'm like, well, if we were going to sell off, that could have been our opportunity. And I think that was right around here when we were pushing the lows of the day. I'm like, okay, we're either going to sell off and break, or we're going to reverse and start pushing the highs. And we ended up reversing and made new session highs. And so to me, I'm like, today was a win for the bulls. Essentially, in my opinion. It doesn't mean we can't just sell off for some reason or the other, because we have a lot of political conflict that's going on around the world. But yeah, I'm looking for a further bounce. I hope that answers your question. Seems like the market is holding to see what's going to happen with Israel and Iran. Yeah, there's a lot of political stuff going on. Bank earnings that came out. I think the bank earnings were really positive. And it's earnings, right? Everyone might be looking for earnings and a few other things. So I'm looking for us to rally, maybe test 18,000, maybe test up above somewhere in this area and test these lows that we were holding for so long and have maybe resistance or support turn into resistance. So yeah, this is what I'm looking. If I did not hit my freaking daily loss limit, I would be looking to buy the market. If we only watch slow markets, can we catch reset here before or after the fire drill happens during the day? Messiah, I'm always working behind the scenes to get stuff, and how do I want to say this? I am always working with the Topstep team and us behind the scenes to reward traders here during slow markets, because I want to reward you guys, not to where you guys just jump in and ask for free crap, right? The people who are here consistent the traders who are here in slow markets consistently, I want to make sure that I can find a way to reward you. And on that note, yeah, I'm always pushing. You can ask Danielle and the Topstep team. I'm always pushing to reward you guys. But yeah, also, here's a reminder, guys. Here is a reminder. I am getting Andre. I'm trying to get Andre on for tomorrow night. Actually, not trying. It's been confirmed. Andre is coming tomorrow night. And it's going to be interesting, guys. I think you guys probably have an idea of what's going to be going on. Hopefully the opposite of what happened to me tonight. But yeah, he's going to be on, and it's going to be a big evening, a big night, whatever we want to call it. So that's going to be awesome. He's going to be on here. I'll try and convince him to give us the keys or use the keys to the house account. And then the second thing I wanted to mention, last Friday, if you guys caught me on the fast markets on Friday, who's seen me trade fast markets last Friday? I was with MP and Coach Jay. I was there, and MP asked me a question, and I pondered that question all weekend. He asked me, he's like, what does Dakota do when he's not trading? And that kind of, and I told him, like, well, work. And like, what do you mean work? I'm like, well, I have taxes to do this weekend. But yeah, that just made me think. I'm like, what does Dakota do? What do we do? What is our hobbies? And then tonight, so it's like, hey, let's here's a form, and they, the Topstep team and myself was thinking the same thing. We want to see what we all do during hobbies. But yeah, I did my taxes, poker, and all that stuff. So fill out that form. I just typed it into the YouTube chat, and we'll go from there. It's going to be interesting to see, and Topstep, myself included, is going to be some fun stuff for you guys for the hobbies. Anyway, that being said, let's get back to the market. I was talking about crude oil, and let's get back to crude oil. Let's see. This is an hourly chart on crude oil, and we could see, guess what? We rallied up. We broke above $80 a barrel last month. In March, we had this pullback, and we had another beautiful rally. So now what we are looking at is another type of pattern. So what I see is the way that I'm going to be looking at crude oil, because I'm a crude oil bull, and I still believe that we could keep rallying in crude oil. Let me look at the daily, actually. Let's look at the daily. So here's the daily. We did kind of test up here in this $88 a barrel zone. Dare I say we could push 90s? That could be an option and something that I'm going to be looking for in crude. $89 a barrel, $90 a barrel if we do start to break up with everything that's going on around the world. So if we start to zoom in, and we're looking at this on an hourly time frame, this is going to be something I watch. If crude oil starts to sell and maybe test the bottom of this range or the bottom of this bullish flag or this flagging pattern, I'm going to be looking to be a buyer of crude oil. I wanted to buy this yesterday. I missed that opportunity. Let's see if I could practice that thing I'm struggling with this week. Patience. Let's see if I could practice patience and get a sell-off, find an opportunity to get in long to maybe make a move up into these highs. So that's what I'm going to be looking at for crude oil tonight and going into tomorrow. I just want to be a buyer. I don't want to be selling this market, even though, selling these highs has been good trades. I haven't taken them. I would much rather be buying the dips rather than selling these highs, just because we've been in a bullish market and I want to be in the direction of this trend. Let me get rid of this. So that's what I'm looking at for crude oil. Spencer, you're tuning in every night, and when I miss your live streams because of work, I always watch it at night. I watch your show every night, and I will continue to. Well, thank you, Spencer. I appreciate it. You get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly, right? Of what it takes to be. I'm trading this like it's real money. This is a live account. It's real money. I'm being really aggressive with the way that I trade. So there's going to be some big swings, and you guys get to see this here almost every single day on my slow markets class, or you're going to hear it from Mick tomorrow. Dakota, since contracts change every 3 months, do you think TA over 3 months older becomes invalid? To an extent, Surface, yes. Because we're talking about new contracts, older contracts, rolling over. I still think that those prices can still be valid to an extent on those older time frames. It gives me a point of reference, and it's worked for me. There might not be current inventory on those new contracts at that level, but it just shows that there's buyers or sellers of this. For example, we're on crude oil, and it's like, hey, for crude oil, this was the area of companies willing to buy it, sell it, companies negotiating contracts. And we know that's what future contracts are, where, people and companies can buy and sell a commodity and also hedge for future price. So there's a lot that goes into it, but technically, sure. Yeah, it works for me. I've had no issues with it. And of course, the further back you look, the less important the price action means. The most current price action that we see on the charts is the most important, in my opinion, of course. Does Topstep have a consistent rule on PA accounts? Not sure what a PA account is. How did the yesterday trade go? Melvin, what yesterday trade? I did pretty good yesterday. So far, so good. Anyway, going to do a few more questions. Let's see. Let me ask you guys. I'm going to put a poll. I'm going to put a poll into the chat. Should I have a weekly guest? Yes or no? Because I'm debating having a weekly guest. PAR Apex funded accounts. Oh, personal accounts? Oh, personal accounts. Interesting. Well, I had no idea that's what they called them. It seems like no trades for tonight. Yes, weekly guests. No, my only trade for tonight was an L on buying Nikkei. I was trying to buy Nikkei and for looking for a push, and it just ripped me a new one. Dakota, why not accept defeat at 3K but go all the way to max? So that was multiple trades, and just like you trade, say, copy trade 3XFAs. So if you hit a 3K loss on 3XFAs, you're actually hitting 9,000 loss. And that's what I just happened in my live account, where I'm trading it, multiple trades. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. I should have practiced patience and waited to buy on this one. But yeah, I mean, essentially you could say, I just hit a 3K loss limit. It was just I was copy trading 3 accounts. It's the same thing. Dakota, do you think you got a little tilted tonight? No, I think I was just impatient. I think I was really impatient on this one. I was very bullish. I was bullish on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is positive, and we've been pushing higher. And the Nikkei just sold off. And it looks like there was some news that affected the market, if I remember that correct. I'm not 100% sure. On Andrew Reyes, do you use no indicators? I mean, basic technical analysis is no indicators. YM, yeah. So you guys want to rip me apart on my losses here on the Nikkei? Okay. I'll have you guys. You guys could rip me apart on losing money. Here we go. Here is how my trades were on the Nikkei. So I'll have to go through and double check. Let's see here. Let's go. There we go. So what I was doing was I've been wanting to buy long the Nikkei. Now, it's more than just one trade, right? One trade, I never want to be hitting a daily loss limit on just one trade. Essentially, it was multiple trades, and it was my own fault. I was impatient. But yeah, every single area that I was looking to buy, I bought here, I bought here, and here, and here, and sure enough, we just kept going down, and yeah, loss. And that's what happens when you're trading in one direction. And finally, we just broke down and broke through, and the market never gave me another chance to buy it, other than down here, of course. Whereas if I was doing that same thing, I still think I would be taking losses, just the way that this price is. I mean, I was coming into this market and tonight as a buyer, and the market's going the opposite direction, and I took my losses. Where is Ring? Junior, I'm not sure what you mean by that. NQ pulling back. I'm going to do a few more questions, and then we'll hop over to gold. Dakota, would you recommend for us to learn from? Dakota, who would you recommend for us to learn from? Did you learn technical analysis from someone you could recommend to us? So, Christopher, you're basically saying, who would I recommend you guys to learn from? And then who did I learn from? It's been a lot. I didn't really learn from any individual. A lot of what I learned was just through trial and error. And then I worked in an old prop firm called Apiary, and the guy's name was Sean. Yeah, and I was kind of under his wing for a little bit. I learned a lot at trading futures. If I would to recommend somebody to learn from outside myself, I would definitely recommend Coach Jay, Coach Ray, and I've been working with a lot of the coaches here at Topstep, and definitely, man, they have some valuable information. You could spend years in our Discord and through all of the education that Coach Jay and the other coaches have. I've learned a lot, and I'm not the best. I'm definitely not the best. I take losses just like everybody else. I take losses probably more than most, it feels like. This week, so far it's 3 trading days. 1 day was a winner, 2 days was a loser, and I'm right around break even for the week. 2 losses, 1 winner. I'm keeping my winning days bigger than my losing days. So yeah, just because it says I'm number 1 on the leaderboard does not mean I'm the best. Wait, that statement doesn't. Okay, whatever. Scratch that statement. I'm just talking about from everybody. I might have the biggest P&L right now, but we'll see. Like I said, this year just getting started. We still have another, what is this, April? We still have 8 months left, right? So we still have 8 months. I'm excited for the Topstep Trading League. That's what I'm getting ready for. Topstep Trading League is going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. It's going to be this fall. Yeah, and you guys are going to see every little detail about it. And I was messaging MP tonight. I was talking to MP just through Slack. We were messaging back and forth. And yeah, that was the reality. And I'm not a teacher. Let me get this straight through you guys. You can see me trade. It looks like Nikkei's starting to sell off a little bit more. So, man, that would have been a great short if I was not hard-headed or stubborn and I was just taking a short. But I was messaging MP tonight, and I'm not a teacher, guys. I am just a trader. And I was telling MP, today was a wild day. It was a roller coaster of a day. And I'm so excited that, Slow Markets is growing and I could go through this same stuff as you guys are going through now. And I want to teach by doing. And it's like, hey, let me show you guys. And we was talking about scaling accounts, and we was talking about, copy trading. And you guys know how I've been viewing the market. You guys see me trade. You guys know I was copy trading 3 XFAs, and we were talking back and forth about that. And yeah, I mean, that, to summarize it all, is I want to show you guys that you can scale a live account the same way you can copy trade multiple accounts. And that being said, copy trading 3 XFAs in a 350K XFAs versus just scaling one live account. 9K daily loss limit, 3 XFA copy trades, 9K daily loss limit. Added that together, right? Position sizing, instead of getting 1 to 3 contracts per XFA to start, I'm going 3 to 9 to start. And then I started getting used to that. Then I'm opening it up to 30 contracts in just one account, right? And as soon as I start getting into a better rhythm, I say better rhythm, I mean more consistent. I've only been doing this bigger scale for the past, when was it? 1 to 2 weeks. And so if we pull up my Topstep account, my Topstep dashboard, let's go ahead and do that here. Maybe if it will load. And I want to make sure I go through this in detail because I feel like this is very, very important to go over, and it's something that's not covered very often. And so if I pull up my live account, okay, I'm at 140,000. This was as of yesterday, 140,000 live account. You guys see it every day. I did not start trading my bigger size until about here. Okay, so I just started this month scaling. Before it was a 3K loss limit, so a $3,000 loss limit, and it was max 15 contracts. So I am now I am now trading $9,000 daily loss limit. Obviously, you guys could see this, and up to 30 contracts, which you could see by my contract volume. My contract volume has definitely increased. So this has only been, what is it, April 5th? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And today would be 9. So 9 trading days at a 9K daily loss limit and a 30K contract size. I'm going to do this for about maybe 1 or 2 months, and then I'm going to see if I can bump it up again. So we shall see how it works out, guys. Interesting. Yeah, I think that kind of just sums it up on what my plan is to show you guys how to do it, right? Teaching by showing rather than just like by PowerPoint presentations or any other way. So we will see how it goes. By the end of April, I'll go through this again. I'll analyze my statistics. I'll maybe have a conversation with Mick and say, you know what? Let's go ahead and try and scale it as if I'm trading 4 XFAs. Well, what does that mean? Maybe I now have a $12,000 daily loss limit and 45 contracts. And then maybe I do that for a month, and then I add another account. So maybe I go to $15,000 daily loss limit and then 55 contracts. And then I'll continue to do that. There's a lot that needs to happen between now and then, of course. And that's trading consistent. It's me feeling comfortable trading bigger size in front of a big audience, because a big audience is, it's a lot of pressure, especially when I'm under a very big magnifying glass over thousands of traders. And then, of course, the risk management team watching everything. And then being on Topstep TV, and yeah, it's a lot of pressure, right? So you can imagine the pressure that comes on that, on top of the live leaderboard, on top of trading live in front of you, and then being able to scale it to a size that you guys haven't really seen, other than just copy trading a bunch of accounts. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Then maybe, just very, very well, maybe you guys get to see some of the liquidity issues that happens when you start trading bigger. Yeah, Shai, and you say that when you start moving bigger contracts, you will see liquidity becomes a bigger challenge than what it is in a simulated environment or a smaller live account. We all know the order book's thin on a lot of markets, and so you can imagine as you're scaling an account, try getting in 20 contracts at market. That's when you're going to start getting slippage. That's when you're going to start realizing that limit orders are a little bit more important than a lot of traders realize. So as I scale, I hope to, well, number one, I hope I get to scale by trading good, and I hope I get to keep trading good going into the end of the year. And I hope I get to show you guys, and you guys could like go through that with me. Yeah, I'm kind of just bouncing around these markets. Nothing's really happening. We're kind of just going sideways and to the right. Nikkei was the market mover that I took my loss on. Let's take a look at gold. And I'll finish up tonight with gold, and we'll do some more Q&A. And then we'll finish, guys. I have a movie booked. I'm going to be going to a movie later on tonight. It's called I don't even know what it was called. But yeah, I do have a movie I'm going to be going to tonight in an hour. I'm excited. Going to take some, I probably need it after tonight. And you know, short-term memory. I'll forget about the loss today, and I'll move on to the next one. So anyway, let's take a look at gold. Ticker symbol GC. So here's the 60-minute chart on gold. And sure enough, it was buy the dip, right? If you guys remember, guess what? This was a trade I really wish I took. If you guys remember this analysis from yesterday, if you guys remember this analysis from yesterday here on gold, this is a 60-minute chart. We were here. And what was I looking for? I was looking for this pullback and to test support or resistance to become support. Sure enough, it did. I was not watching gold today. I was busy trading the NASDAQ, and this was a little bit early for me. And we rallied off that level. That was a really awesome trade that, you know, I missed out on. And that being said, let me show you guys something sometimes I have been trading. And one way that I do like to trade this, I should have talked about it last night because this was a really good setup. So this is where we were at last night in gold. And one way to take advantage of this, because the markets move while we are sleeping, is if I do believe the market could sell off like I did yesterday, a lot of times I will just put a buy limit order. You know, put a buy limit order where resistance was, and I look for resistance to become support, then put a stop loss somewhere down here, and then take profit back up to these highs or something. And you guys, if you've been in slow markets before, I've went through these examples a lot of time. And for some reason, I don't know why I didn't go through this, because this was a really good trade setup, and it actually worked out really well. This is an example of how you can set a buy limit order and let this trade run overnight. I'll have to maybe go over that a little bit more in detail at a later date. But yeah, we can use these limit orders to take advantage of these movements overnight. You don't have to be in front of your charts to actually place that trade. And now that we're gaining a bigger audience, I'm sure there's a lot of you guys out there, guys and girls out there, that has not seen me go through those examples. And so I'm going to run through some of those examples before. And maybe I'll get some good trades in where I could place an order and let that order run overnight. Surface, you saw Civil War tonight. Yeah, I was debating that. I'm not going to watch Civil War. It's going to be it's about golf. It's the long game. I'm a big golfing fan. I used to golf in high school for a very brief period of time. And I just watched Tiger Woods make the cut. So I'm a big golf fan, and I'm excited for this movie tonight. I might get back into golfing as well. It's been a while since I've taken any time to myself. So I definitely need to do that. And maybe golfing is going to be one of those. We're starting to catch a little bit of a bid here in the Nikkei. Man, that was the trade, was to be patient and wait for us to come down and test these lows here in March, and then look for an opportunity. This is how I should have freaking traded the Nikkei, was buy in this zone, put my stop loss down here, and then I look for a push. So that was probably the better trade, is buy down near these lows. This will allow me to have a much tighter stop loss. And then I look for a rally back up to maybe 38,600 or a really good. That was the trade. And that's the trade I wish I would have taken. Oh, well. Travis Jones, what do you think a good take profit would be on a long Nikkei? So let me go over this, guys, and we'll do a little bit of would've, could've, should've. This little woulda, coulda, shoulda trade. If I was to get long the Nikkei now, this is just a sim account. It would look something like this. So if I was to get long the Nikkei right now, I would have my stop loss below these lows, like this. The lows, this is the lows from March, so everybody could see. And what I would be looking for is, since I'm in multiple contracts, I love to scale out of trades. So the first one I would look for is maybe a one take profit here, one take profit here, and then maybe leave a runner on for a test like this. Now, this is very unlikely. This is a really good risk reward. I'm getting a much better than a 2-to-1. I mean, actually might even be getting a 4-to-1 on this. This one may be up a little bit higher. So maybe something like this. This is just an example of how sometimes I will set a trade up. And this one is a little bit debatable. Maybe I just put 2 contracts there. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's very flexible. You have a lot more flexibility when you enter into multiple contracts. Look, I'm already making money on this sim account. But anyway, yeah, something like this is what I would look for. A lot of times I'll even just do something like this and leave a runner on, where I could just do like this, right? And I could say, you know, take profit as soon as we get up to here, and then second take profit here, and then I'll just leave a runner on. And then if we do start to push up between now and I go to bed, I'll even dare move my stop loss to this. And then I have a good, you know, 4-to-1, maybe even much, much greater if we do rally up. See how easy it is to freaking make money when I don't think and I don't analyze myself. Interesting. If you get okay, so interesting. Okay, so I just got an update, guys. I got an update from behind the scenes. Tomorrow. Oh, okay, Danielle. Okay, let me look at this guy. I want to see this before. What is this? I just got an update from Danielle behind the scenes. Danielle, that's the same link. Is that? You might need a different link. So anyway, guys, here's an update. Here is an update. Is tomorrow night, you guys know I'm bringing Andre on tomorrow night, and it sounds like your form is not working. So essentially, it says the house account. Everybody knows the house account. It's the elaborate house account. Okay, and it's not just going to be me trading it. Let's just make sure that I get that straight. I'm not going to say I got the house account, I'm going to place the trades. No, that's not what's going to happen. Andre's not going to say I'm going to be making the decisions. What it's going to be and what it sounds like, which is going to be even a lot more fun. There's going to be possibly a form that you guys get to fill out and give levels for tomorrow night to influence Andre in the house account. So that is what it's going to be. What's going on, guys? Do we have some tests? What's going on? There's the form. Okay. What's happening? I could see the chat. Man, this Nikkei, this trade. Yeah, Brian Gutierrez. This is probably that double bottom on the Nikkei. If the Nikkei rallies, I'm just going to be pissed off for the rest of the night. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the movie. Yeah, Chris, I could see you. There's only 30 watching right now. That is so weird. Yeah, maybe they'll have to. Yeah, it's too soon to give levels, but it's going to primarily be for tomorrow. Let's see. Can you guys hear me? Let's hear it in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Type something in the chat to see. I can only see 20 of you guys. Hit refresh. Oh, we got some people in here. Yeah, it only says there's only 25, 27 people in the chat for some reason. But now we're getting everybody in here. YouTube's busted right now. Dang YouTube. Yeah, look at this. Look at this Nikkei trade now. Now that I've been stopped out, of course it's going to rally. Of course it's going to freaking rally. Yeah, Nikkei moves similar. Yeah. It's giving you guys air to send a message. It sounds like it's working now. Okay, it's a known issue. It's on YouTube. It sounds like it's a YouTube deal. We'll leave it. I'll sit here and watch me make this fake money. We're watching me make fake money as we're waiting for YouTube to fix itself. No, you guys, you're not banned. We're running on, yeah. Yeah, this kind of pisses me off. I can't like or send a message. Interesting. Yeah, it's working now, guys. I could see your chat. I could see you guys in the chat. It's working. You probably had to leave and come back. It's a YouTube thing. I got confirmation behind the scenes that YouTube is just bugged out. It's showing that there's only 40 people watching, but we are a lot more. It's a YouTube bug, it sounds like. And the way that I'm seeing chat go, there's a lot more than 20 of you guys. Dakota, I heard you are a market maker and market makers do whatever. It's not true. I am not a market maker and the markets do not do what I tell them to. if they did, I wouldn't have taken a loss. Hey, it's not working. We have, yeah, Nikkei is $25 per tick. It's not for the faint of heart. But we're going to have Andre on here tomorrow. Tune in for tomorrow, guys. Andre's going to be on here, and it's going to be big. We have the form. They're probably going to drop it tomorrow at the end of during Topstep TV. I'm going to do it tomorrow again as well. I'm going to drop that form if I do have it again, to where essentially me and Andre, we're going to be talking. We're going to be talking about the Nikkei and about markets. Not just going to be the Nikkei, guys. Me and Andre, we're going to talk about the NASDAQ. We're going to talk about crude oil. We're going to be talking about gold. And then what we're going to do is we're going to try and get some levels from you guys during slow markets. And maybe there's a house account trade that is in tune. So anyway, I think this could be a good place to where we could come to the end. Yeah, something's interesting on YouTube. I'm not sure what it is. It sounds like it's widespread. I got confirmation from a few areas that YouTube is acting up. But I can see your chat. I can see your chat, Rassel. There's the document. So keep that link on file. So there's the funded traders level. There is a link. Keep that. We're going to be able to get some levels. And tomorrow night when I am on with Andre, take that link and we'll take a look at the levels. Man, right as we end slow markets. Yeah. Yep. I wish I would have taken this long, guys. Unfortunately, I'm going to go see if LeBron James could close it out. So take care, everybody. I appreciate you, and I will catch you tomorrow night. Take care. See you.